We don't build like that anymore. People have affection for those things because we don't build like that anymore.
Tonight, we continue our look at the present and past of the historic Centennial Mills building in Northwest Portland, gutted by a massive fire Sunday, and officials say is still at risk of collapse. Monday, investigators completed their first sweep of the building. They did not find any human remains. What caused the fire is still under investigation. Well, today we caught up with a historic preservation specialist based in Southern Oregon who studied the building for the city's Development Commission several years ago. George Kramer wrote 2 reports on Crown Mills, as it was originally called, as well as the state's wheat industry that it supported more than a century ago. It all started with an international trading company based in England called Balfour and Guthrie. At the turn of the 20th century, they expanded on the west coast of the U.S. Portlanders may recognize the name because there's a Balfour Guthrie building downtown on Southwest Oak near Burnside. They invested heavily in eastern Washington and Oregon, supporting wheat farmers. They would give them loans, buy their grain, and ship it down the Columbia. Some of that grain would be milled into flour. At first, Balfour and Guthrie did that near Seattle, but by 1909, they realized they had another option. You guessed it, Portland.
Balfour and Guthrie had the capacity and the wherewithal to just say, fine, we'll build our own flour mill. And they built the grain elevator that went next to it, and the first of the warehouses and the wharf. And so now they were a totally vertical market. They could loan money to farmers, buy their grain, ship their grain in their ships, store their grain in their silos, float it down the Columbia River to their mill, package it, and then sell it worldwide. Crown Mill essentially kept Balfour and Guthrie afloat through the Depression because it was so successful. People got to eat even when the economy sucks.
Through those first several decades of operations along the Willamette, the world outside the flour mill was certainly changing. But inside, hey, as the saying goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
In the 1960s, they were still using all the original pre-World War I equipment. When I was in that building last, which was in like 2018, 2019, there were still wooden roller mills, wooden sifters that was all original 1910 equipment. I actually have catalogs in my office of where Balfour and Guthrie bought that equipment from. Grain was pumped up to the top of that 7-story building, 6 stories on a basement, and then gravity sent it down through the floor levels, and it was processed at each floor. And they used gravity specifically because flour is heavy.
And not only is it heavy, the process of milling grain into flour comes with a major fire risk, which is why that steel water tank was on top of the building to help fight any fires inside. But let's bring things back to the present day and why the building along Northwest NATO sat vacant for years, with hints of possible redevelopment that never materialized.
Flour mills aren't really buildings in the normal way we think of them. And in particular, that building, so tall and so narrow, the economics of redeveloping it, if you can't build onto it, are complex. I don't think anybody was under the delusion that this is an easy restoration or rehabilitation.
So now we wait and see what's next for the property. We're told the city engineer is determining if the building needs to be demolished, but Kramer thinks that iconic water tank could live on.
I have been amused watching all of the social media videos that there's steam coming out. It's like a big tea kettle up there. And there was probably a little residual water from leaks in the roof and rain and whatever, but it's boiling, just like a tea kettle. I think it would be really kind of cool to pick up the tea kettle and do something with it. Put it down on the ground, as a little piece of Portland's history.